What is up, my little ratties? Today we are not going to be playing Dress to Impress, or at least live. So today I actually wanted to have a little bit of a more serious discussion with you all about the state of Dress to Impress, and also my channel, of course, because hello, I literally only play Dress to Impress over here. But I have noticed some things and I just kind of wanted to get them out there into the world and just really talk to my community and I guess the general DTI community as a whole. But for me, Dress to Impress has kind of been losing its fun for me lately, and I have been feeling this for a little bit, but like especially now, I don't know, I guess it's because of how long there's been since like a bigger update, but I've been really feeling it lately, and I know a lot of you do feel the same as well. The game itself is pretty repetitive because of just like the concept. You just do the theme, dress up, and that's it. And I usually only really have a lot of fun in the first couple weeks after an update, and then it feels like I'm just waiting again for like the next update, which again I guess is kind of just like how the game is designed to be, but it is a little bit sad. I didn't always feel like this. That feeling has definitely been more recent, so I'm not really exactly sure why. But again, I know a lot of you have the same sentiment because so many people have told me they don't play Dress to Impress anymore, but they still tune into my videos every now and then, and I am so grateful for you guys. I am the same way. I definitely have continued watching creators even if I don't really exactly love the specific content. So knowing you guys do that for me as well is so freaking sweet. I've been playing Dress to Impress every single day for almost 2 years now, and over a year of that has been me like making content for it. And as much as I do love it, it isn't as fun as it used to be. A lot of this obviously has to do with like nostalgia and everything, because I think we all miss the golden age of Dress to Impress, or at least like those of us who were there during that golden age. I feel so freaking bad for the people who didn't get to play Dress to Impress back then. I know so many people have only recently started playing, and the FOMO that I would feel would be like actually insane. And not to mention the amount of players who think that like no old items should come back, which is just so crazy to me, because I would say a majority of the people playing Dress to Impress now were not playing Dress to Impress back then. Most of the original players have moved on, as sad as that is. So it just would be so unfair to satisfy the minority just so that the majority doesn't have these items. And I don't think there should be rare items anyways, because it's like a competitive dress up game and it puts people at disadvantages. I don't know, guys, I could talk about that for literally hours. But anyways, I have been enjoying playing other games on my second channel. I know not a lot of you know that I even have a second channel, but I do, and lots of people have suggested me games to play over there, like a lot of Roblox games as well. I haven't really done many of those, but if you yourself have any suggestions, please let me know, because I'm honestly not very savvy with Roblox. I don't know a lot of those games. I do play other games besides Roblox, but I want to start playing more of those. But not only is the game itself less fun for me now, the community feels like it is growing in toxicity. Without fail, almost every single time I play Dress to Impress lately, there is like some sort of argument in the chat, and I'm sure you've seen that if you've watched my videos, but over outfits or voting, and that's just with my age range. I can only imagine what is happening in the other ones, since I'm literally an adult. Okay, I have like the oldest age range, which is like actually so sad to say out loud. It makes me feel so old. But I do think that my circle is relatively positive. I don't really have any issues in my like little dtimiesha bubble, but as soon as I take a little peek outside, it's like a freaking battle zone out there. People are always arguing, there's always some sort of drama, and it feels like I as a creator can just like literally never do enough. You layer too much, you don't layer enough, you don't dress like this other creator, your style is ugly. It feels like people are literally never pleased. Now obviously you can never please anyone, but it feels even more extreme in this community sometimes. This obviously again is like not everyone, and I don't notice it in my community like really ever, but it's so sad how prevalent it is in the DTI community, especially for like newer creators. I know there have been like lots of creators who have tried and started to make channels, but things get to them. I don't know, we are people, you guys, and it's just a dress up game. At the end of the day, we are playing a Roblox game, and I feel like very few issues are as serious as people try to make them out to be. There's no reason to be so cruel about such trivial things. Obviously, that does come with the job of being a content creator, or just the hobby of being a content creator, but I don't think that we should normalize that behavior towards other people, because at the end of the day, we are just other people. And if someone isn't like actually doing anything wrong, just because you don't like their outfit, I don't know. I don't feel like there's any reason to tear someone down because of that. This also does apply to just like players in your game too, I think. You are fully allowed to not like people's outfits and vote them 1 star if that's what you deem fit, but to be like nasty to people in the chat, I think that's just super unfair. Some people could argue that constructive criticism is fine. I personally also am like a little bit iffy about that. I don't know if I love talking about people's outfits at all in the chat unless it's something nice to say, but I also realize that maybe my view is a little bit extremist, but I would hope that we could all agree that there's no reason to be inherently hateful to people just because you don't like the way that they dress. You never know who's on the other side of the screen or what they're going through. So just as a general rule, I just wish people were a little bit nicer to each other, especially because it is primarily a kids game. Now obviously age filters and everything do change that a little bit, and depending on your age range, there's a good chance that you aren't talking to a child if you are older, but I don't even really think that that should matter, because it shouldn't matter if you're talking to a kid or someone your age or someone older. I think we should all just try to be nice to each other. Obviously we don't live in a perfect world, but I do feel like that is like a bigger issue in this community specifically, especially considering how like silly the topic is, I guess. Like it's just a dress-up game. I don't know. I just don't think there's any reason to be getting super mad over like anything. But speaking of serious things, there have been many instances in DTI's history where things should be taken seriously. We obviously all know about Bplays in the vile accusations that came out about her, and she was the community manager for so long. Now, when this situation happened, I actually was not home. I was in my current state looking at my house that I didn't live in, but I was moving in at the time, so I couldn't actually like make a video about the situation as much as I wanted to. I was literally 16 hours away from my computer, but I did a post on my community tab. I'm not sure if everybody saw it, so I will put it on the screen here just in case you didn't. But that was like actually insane, and the fact that that and other situations behind the scenes could go on for so long unchecked is really worrying. Not to mention, at the time of all of those instances, the DTI team was made up of a lot of minors, which I think makes everything even worse to know that those kids were put in that situation. I don't know, it really makes me upset like the more I talk about it. Even before that specific incident though, the creator of DTI had allegations as well. I'm not really the most well versed on that specific situation, but I do know it wasn't great. And now she is back on the team as well, which I know a lot of people are upset about. Again, I don't really know the specifics of that. I just know that she said and maybe did some like super problematic things. And she also did like have an apology when she came back, because I don't know if you guys remember, but she came back during the Lady Gaga thing, which was right before Bplays obviously got like exposed, allegedly, at least. I think I have to say that. And people just felt like it was very condescending, and she just kind of popped up out of nowhere. And then she did apologize, but I don't even really know what she was apologizing for, and I felt like it wasn't super clear. I don't really know the whole everything on that, but I obviously know it's bad, and I don't know if I love that she is back. But she is also the creator, so I don't even know the logistics on replacing her, I guess. And she obviously also doesn't want to be replaced. So I don't know. I think a lot of people have this notion where, since I have like a lot of subscribers in the grand scheme of things, not to sound like egotistical at all, okay, that I have these ties to the team and the devs and that my loyalty lies with them. But that has never and will literally never be the case. I love Dress to Impress and everything that it has done for me, and I think that the team is so talented, but my loyalty will always lie with the people, because I am just like all of you. I don't get any special perks. I have paid for all of my game passes and all of my gifting things with my own money, and I have never spoken to any dev or DTI team. I truly am like just a normal player. I try to say that so often, but I don't know if people really understand what I'm trying to say. I get nothing special. I do make content on it, but you would never know that if you played with me, or if you were me. I don't get anything crazy or talk to anybody or any sneak peeks or anything. Now obviously recently I think DTI has been pretty drama free, at least to my knowledge. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel like things have been pretty tame around here. There hasn't been any giant scandals or anything, which I'm very thankful for, but it will obviously take some time for the community to rebuild their trust, and that also includes me. I'm hoping DTI will continue to move forward in this way and distance themselves from the drama, but I think these incidents and how things were handled in the past will always leave like a sour taste in people's mouths. Now you're probably asking yourself now, okay Miesha, but are you really quitting? And the answer is of course no. I love Dress to Impress and I don't think I'd ever stop playing it, but I do think I maybe want to distance myself from it a little bit. I don't like the idea that people think I am interlinked with DTI when in their eyes and my eyes, I am just a player. I also don't know if I'll be playing DTI forever for content. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stop posting about it even in the next year or two, but I do want to try to become more active on my second channel that I was talking about and play games that are like really interesting me right now. Maybe in the future we could also play other games here, but for now, that's just my plan. All right, you guys, that's all we had time for today. Thank you for sitting around and letting me talk about the state of DTI and my channel and just yap. It feels like I don't really usually talk about my feelings or anything because I'm always so locked in on creating outfits, so it was really nice to get it all out. I don't really make talking videos. I literally just play the game and that's it. So I know a lot of you don't really know a lot about me or anything like that, so I don't know. It was nice to do this. Hopefully maybe this gave you some clarity on where I stand in Dress to Impress and my feelings on some situations. But if you guys have any questions or concerns still, feel free to comment them down below and I will try my best to get to them all. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I literally love you all so much. But if you liked today's video, make sure to leave a like, maybe comment, maybe subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.